home on Maple Avenue. Officers responding to 3 Maple Avenue, number 3, just after 7 p.m., April 18th, to break up a fight between two men that had escalated to a stabbing. According to witnesses, several people were drinking and playing board games when Fraylin Rodriguez, a resident of the Maple Avenue apartment, is said to have returned home and got into a fight with another man there as part of the group. According to police, Rodriguez became upset because the victim was there and said, "Why are you here? You have no consideration for others," before he grabbed a kitchen knife off the counter. Others described the weapon as a butcher knife. After the stabbing, Rodriguez fled the scene, police said. A Massachusetts State Police K-9 team brought in to track his movements was unsuccessful. Rodriguez appeared before Judge Richard Morey in Haverhill District Court Friday morning. He had turned himself into Haverhill Police at the Bailey Boulevard Station just 12 hours earlier and was arrested on charges of armed assault to murder and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Morey appointed attorney Timothy Connors to act on Rodriguez's behalf at arraignment, ordering him held without bail pending a hearing to determine if he is a danger to himself or the community. A state agency is investigating an April 12th child restraint issue at St. James School in Haverhill that, at least for a week, did not come with any district-ordered suspensions, seemingly contradicting newly articulated school policy. The incident, the second in a month, was confirmed for WHAV on Friday by a spokeswoman for the State Department of Children and Families. The agency, whose role is to keep children safe from abuse and neglect, also reported it has not yet completed its investigation of a March 29th incident that saw the school principal and 4 others placed on paid leave. On Saturday morning, following WHAV's inquiries, Haverhill School Superintendent Margaret Murata notified the school committee by email, quote, "These staff members will be placed on paid leave, as this has been the consistent practice across the school year," offering no explanation for the week-long delay. The latest incident, according to those with knowledge of it, involved a student who, quote, punched Assistant Special Education Director John DeMonch in the face and hit him with a chair. The student was then restrained by DeMonch and a temporary staff member. It's not clear who filed the report with the state or when. DeMonch and temp staff have been in place since Haverhill Alternative School Principal John DiPaolo was placed on paid leave immediately after the March 29th episode, followed several days later by 4 staffers who came to his defense. In that case, according to a 15-year staff member, a student, quote, repeatedly kicked and punched staff and headbutted 2 staff. At the last Haverhill School Committee meeting, most speakers came to DiPaolo's defense or criticized changes in the special education programs. DiPaolo, an 18-year veteran of the school, had overseen both the Haverhill Alternative School and the Therapeutic Education Assessment Center of Haverhill until the beginning of the school year. He was replaced at Teach by Lynn Snow. He was also suspended 3 weeks last fall for a similar incident for which he was eventually cleared. The collection of events caused some to speculate DiPaolo is being targeted by the new administration. The business manager for Greater Lawrence Technical School is expected to be formally interviewed this week by the Haverhill School Committee for the job of assistant superintendent. Maria Silva, who has managed finances 8 years at the Andover Vocational School, was formally named today as the sole finalist for the Haverhill Post. Before taking over the business job, Silva worked as administrative assistant to the school principal for about 5.5 years. She was first hired at Greater Lawrence Technical School during November of 2001 to handle payroll. Silva became finalist by a vote of the Haverhill School Committee April 11th and was notified the next day. According to Haverhill School Superintendent Margaret Murata, who confirmed in an email to WHAV, Murata said, however, release of the candidate's name, required by state law, was delayed to allow Silva to notify her staff in person after the April school vacation. She received her master's in education last year from American International College of Springfield. Previously, Silva received a Master of Business Administration degree from Southern New Hampshire University, focusing on forensic accounting, and a bachelor's from the same school. The new job is designed to combine the job of business manager with someone to oversee personnel, food service, maintenance, and technology. The last person to hold the title of assistant superintendent was Jared Fulgoni, who left Haverhill last June to become Amesbury school superintendent. Fulgoni had previously been a candidate for the Haverhill school superintendent's job. Stop and Shop employees are scheduled to clock back into work today after a late-night deal reached on Easter Sunday ended a work stoppage at New England's largest grocery store chain, with locations in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. During the strike, dozens of stores, including North Andover and Methuen, turned away shoppers on one of the busiest holiday shopping weekends of the year, as employees petitioned for higher wages and improved health care benefits. As part of the new 3-year deals between Stop and Shop and the 5 United Food and Commercial Workers Unions representing employees, wages, medical, and pension benefits are set to increase, according to a company spokesman. And the Methuen Fire Department is celebrating an $1,800 donation made to the 311 Foundation to provide medical care to wounded, ill, and injured Marines after the conclusion of their 2-month sale of 2019 firefighter calendars. Photographer Nancy Reardon captured the men and women of the Methuen Fire Department at various locations in the city for the 12-month calendar, backed by Fire Chief Timothy Sheehy. Retired Methuen firefighter Steve Battle, a Marine veteran, accepted the donation on behalf of the 311 Foundation. Battle currently serves on the charity's board. In WHAV sports, the Red Sox are scheduled to take on the Tigers tonight at Fenway Park, and the Bruins and Maple Leafs are going to be playing Game 7 of their Stanley Cup playoff series tomorrow night in Boston. And the Celtics have moved on to the next round of the NBA playoffs after sweeping the Indiana Pacers 4 games straight. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source, and there's always more at WHAV.net, where you can sign up for free digital news headlines. From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is Wynn Damon.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Giles Gibson. Sri Lankan authorities say bombings that killed 290 people on Sunday were carried out by a local jihadist group with the support of an international network. The US is ending exemptions from sanctions for multiple countries currently buying oil from Iran. And electric car maker Tesla saw its shares drop almost 4% after video emerged appearing to show one of its cars exploding in Shanghai.
Wave weather!
Now your wave weather forecast for Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. Few showers, maybe even isolated thunderstorm tonight with a 15 to 20 mile per hour northeast breeze. Patchy fog could develop as well, and some heavy rainfall early in this evening as we drop just a few clicks back into the upper 40s. Overcast skies, temperatures holding right at 50 for Tuesday. Winds up to around 10 to 15 miles per hour from the northeast. Tuesday night, a few showers, mainly cloudy, low 45. And for the day Wednesday, an isolated shower, a few peaks of sunshine, will warm into the lower 60s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Brian Ivy. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV is on Facebook, on air, 24/7, and online all the time. This is 97.9. Broadcasting on the Armstrong FM system. This is 97.9 WHAV.
Catch the wave, WHAV, Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are back on the Open Mic Show for another Monday night, 6 to 8. It's 6:10 right now, and we're going to be talking to our first guests. We have, tonight, we have from two different areas. We're going to be talking, though, about the WIC program and the statewide WIC Day activity, which is scheduled for Thursday, May 2nd, coming right up. And Hope Davenport is here. She's from the WIC program at Community Action. And also Shannon Toulouse is here, and she is a consultant with the Haverhill Public Schools and as a nurse. You're a nurse, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Well, Ralph, so you if you get sick, we'll save you tonight.
I'm in good
right.
hands here.
Yes.
You
All
can
right.
always trust the nurse who knows what's going on.
That's right.
Before the doctor
It's
who's
always
in charge.
good to have a nurse in the room.
That's right.
That's why on the city council we love having Mary Ellen Daly O'Brien there, because she actually saved Attorney Bob Harb one night, or I don't know if she saved him, but she was right there. He passed out at the podium.
Really?
And Mary Ellen was up, and she was there assisting.
Oh, God bless her.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, enough of that. Ralph Basiliere is also here. You're like a co-host as far as
Yeah.
You're as important as I am.
No.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
but thank you, Bill.
But, all right.
You're always a gentleman.
Thanks. All right. He still doesn't know me well, but thanks for saying that. Okay. All right. So let's get into the information that we want to talk about. We do have Hope here. I'm going to start with you. Discussing what's this all about. I'm familiar with the WIC program.
Okay.
Not personally, but because I'm just knowledgeable about stuff. But I can say that I know it's an important thing that you do in carrying out this program, because it's very important to mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Correct.
And children.
Correct. All right. Very
Okay.
good.
I'm going to move your mic down just a little bit
Okay.
so we can get your volume up as much as possible. Okay. Go
Okay.
ahead. Good.
Well, I've been directing the program for 15 years. It's very important to me. We have an important mission that we carry out, and that's to improve the health of pregnant and postpartum women, infants, and children. We provide nutrition education, nutritious foods, and breastfeeding support, and referrals to other health and human services. We do have a website. Our state website is www.mass.gov/WIC. And our local program is one program of Community Action Incorporated here
Right.
in Haverhill.
Just one of many, I know.
One of
yeah.
many.
I mean, that your organization, Community Action, is
Big umbrella,
I've
Community
watched
Action.
it grow and thrive with all the different programs and the good stuff that they have done.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about who's eligible for WIC.
Sure.
So obviously WIC stands for Women, Infant, and Children. So pregnant women, postpartum women, and infants and children under 5 years of age. So, and they must be income eligible. So the income guidelines are 185% of the federal poverty level. So for example, a family of 4 can make up to $46,435 to qualify for WIC services.
Okay.
Okay. Or the individuals may be automatically eligible for WIC if they already participate or are enrolled in SNAP or Mass Health Standard, or if they're a foster child.
Okay. Yeah.
The participant must reside in Massachusetts, or if they live outside of Massachusetts, we refer them to their state's WIC program. Okay.
Great.
Pregnant women should apply as soon as they think they're pregnant. Women can stay enrolled until they're 6 months postpartum, or up to a year if they're breastfeeding. And moms, dads, grandparents, any other guardian of a child who's under 5 and who meet the household income guidelines are encouraged to apply.
Okay. So if people aren't taking notes at home or while they're driving, perhaps they can find this online?
Yes, so they can always go to the website, the mass.gov/WIC, to check to see if they're eligible and to request an application or apply.
Now, is that that financial guideline, is that for Haverhill residents or is that for state residents?
Those are actually federal income
Federal.
guidelines.
Federal guidelines.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
State, nationwide.
All right.
guidelines.
Okay. Good.
Now, is WIC funded by the federal government and administered by the states?
Exactly. So we're funded by the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, and which funnels funds down to each state, and our Department of Public Health contracts local agencies.
You know what I know about the Department of Agriculture programs like SNAP, for example? SNAP is actually the most effective government program ever run by any government in history of planet Earth. I know that for a fact. I know that from a statistician who worked for a think tank for Congress, and he was assigned to the SNAP program. So I'm in big favor of the U.S. Department of Agriculture spending money to feed children in this country.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think those are tax dollars well spent.
And I think a good point to bring up is that a lot of families think that if they already receive SNAP, that they don't need to apply for WIC or they're not eligible to apply for WIC, but actually it makes them eligible.
How does WIC differ from SNAP?
Sure. So SNAP issues dollars to spend on food.
Okay.
Right? And they can choose whatever foods in the grocery store usually that they want or need for their family. So WIC issues foods to families, but they're very specific, nutritious foods. And I can go down the list of the foods that we provide. I can explain
Why
that.
don't you do that, and then we're going to take a short break because,
Okay.
believe it or not, we have breaks usually around quarter past, half past, and then quarter of. So we'll be good. And actually, because we have, we might be able to run you a little bit over since we ran a little bit late to get all your information in. Okay, if you're willing to stay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So the foods that WIC provides are milk alternatives, yogurts, cheeses, fresh, frozen, and canned fruits and vegetables, eggs, peanut butter, beans, whole grains, such as cereals, breads, tortillas, pasta, and rice, 100% fruit juice, canned fish for breastfeeding moms, baby food, and formula for those who need it, or medically prescribed formulas for those who also need it.
Wow. You must have a decent-sized department that helps out with this, right?
Well, believe it or not, so we're a staff of about 12.
But you get a
And
lot
we're
done then.
serving over 2,000 participants
That's
and
great.
individuals.
Wow. Yeah.
In the northern Essex region now, out of Haverhill, it's about 15 to 1,600 individuals
Wow.
out of the Haverhill office. And there's really only 3 full-time staff working directly with participants
Well,
to serve all those.
keep up the good work then.
Thank
We're going to take a short break. This is the Open Mic Show. Bill Macek and Ralph Basiliere, and we're here with Hope and Shannon, right?
That's correct.
Funny spelling, but we're not showing you how you spell your name.
Shannon with a Y.
Shannon with a Y. There you go. That's the way to say it. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more information on the WIC program and WIC Day coming up right here on the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the Open Mic Show will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900.
The Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom broadcasts local programs all day, every day. Local news, community spotlights, sports, and the Open Mic Show. 97.9 WHAV, Haverhill's only local news source. Online all the time at WHAV.net. We're 97.9 WHAV.
Hi, this is Tim Coco, WHAV President and General Manager, thanking you personally for staying tuned to WHAV's local information service. Special thanks to WHAV sponsors for helping to bring you all the latest local news and all of the Haverhill and Merrimack Valley happenings. That's what the only Haverhill-based news source is all about, serving the local public, you, within the sound of my voice. 97.9 WHAV FM.
Community Spotlight.
The Atkinson Congregational Church debuts monthly Wednesday night dinner parties. Members of the community are invited to monthly dinner parties free of charge on the first Wednesday night of each month, starting at 6 p.m. Overseen by Pastor Jim Thomas, the effort aims to foster connections and conversation between locals, exploring what he calls hard questions over family-style meals. The 90-minute sessions take place in Lovejoy Hall, attached to the church, at 99 Main Street, Atkinson. No advance registration is required. More information is available at atkinsonconnections.org. Submit your own nonprofit events and announcements at least 3 weeks in advance. For best results, use the online form under the Contact tab at WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is John Lee.
WHAV. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we're back on the Open Mic Show. In this hour, our guests are talking about the WIC program, and we're going to have a big day coming up. It's May 2nd, right? May 2nd, a Thursday. Coming right up is the official WIC day. Is it a state day or national day?
So it's the very first state day.
State day.
WIC day.
Good.
Yes.
Wow.
Great. Good for Massachusetts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we left off just talking about WIC foods,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
That families receive, but I wanted to mention when families enroll in the program and they come in, they receive nutrition services from our qualified and bilingual nutritionists. So we have nutritionists on staff providing nutrition education, family-centered, individualized nutrition counseling for every family in our office, right downtown here, located at 3 Washington Square
Sure.
in
Yep.
Haverhill. And we also have new online nutrition education modules families can go on to and learn nutrition tips on there. We do group classes, nutrition classes, breastfeeding classes. They're meant to be fun, interactive, and supportive. And we have certified lactation counselors that provide the breastfeeding support. So those are some services in the office.
Now, the WIC program has been around for quite some time.
It has. It's 43 years old.
Is it 43
Yes.
years? Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know. 43 years old. It's the premier nutrition program. It's survived all these years, and really because of all the great health outcomes, which
Yeah,
there's-
it's kind of hard to find fault with it, probably.
It's very hard to
Maybe
find
you
fault
could
with it.
Make a
Right.
few improvements here and
Yeah.
there you've done, I'm sure, over the years, but
Yes, and over the years it's been amazing. I mean, the program just keeps getting better and better. We've added more fruits and vegetables. We don't have paper vouchers anymore. Families use a shopping card, which is electronic. They can go to the grocery store and use it as a debit card. So it's very discreet. There's no more separating WIC foods from other foods. They swipe their card and pay for their items
Yeah,
with the card.
okay.
So there's been a lot of improvements over the years. And just to mention, too, the WIC food package, we issue the WIC foods by month, but usually they are issued 3 months at a time. Families can save an estimate of $60 to $80 a month on groceries.
wow, that's a
the
good
WIC
That adds up.
savings. That's a good savings, yep.
Right? So, and last year, there was $1.6 million redeemed in WIC food benefits just in our local grocery
Wow,
stores.
nice.
Yeah, last year.
It's a nice program.
Well, these programs, one of the great things about them, other than what they do for the children and the women who need them, is they add to the economy. And I've always said to people, I have people who will, in this day and age, have things to say about government programs that provide food. Which, first of all, I don't want to talk to you if you're against food for children, you're not my guy. But now what I'm saying to people is, do you support farmers? And they're like, of course I support farmers. Then you don't want to complain about SNAP and WIC.
Right.
Because it helps the farmers, it helps the economy, and it helps them out too. And I know I'm right about this, right? You
Yes.
see the data.
Yes, in fact, I think it was over $400,000 that was redeemed to local farmers at our. So we run a summer farmers market program where
Nice.
we give families paper vouchers to spend at the local farmers market, and we'll be running that this
And
summer.
we got one of those.
We do. We have a Haverhill
Yeah, we have a
River
farmer's market.
Right,
But-
a good one.
is great.
Yep.
We do a special event there every summer. So first Saturday in August, we will be there giving WIC families their vouchers to spend. And each individual on WIC will get $25 if they're starting at 4 months of age and older. $25 to spend at the farmer's market.
That's fantastic. That's just real nice. Now, you brought somebody with you. You want to let her talk?
Yes, thank you, Shannon.
What
Thank
did-
you for coming and supporting WIC.
You are very welcome, Hope. So my role is a regional school nurse consultant, and I support all cities and towns, basically north of Boston, but I live in Haverhill. I raised my son in Haverhill. He's now a college student, but I'm just here to support Hope and the great work that Community Action does for our community. Specifically, I work with pre-K to 12 in the public school arena currently,
Yeah.
but I also work a lot with our early education programs. A lot of times those are the point of contact for our families, right? A lot of our families are in either school, pre-K to 12 public or private programs, or maybe not? And then how can we talk about how can we reach those families that aren't getting benefits? So, as a nurse, we talk about nutrition and how important nutrition is for brain development and for learning. If kids come to school hungry, they're not going to learn.
That's right.
Certainly.
That's true.
And
That's right.
WIC providing, nutritious foods and programs really help support those kids and families so that they're able to come to school ready to learn.
So you know how well it works because you work hand in glove together with Hope in the program.
Yeah. Hope and I have worked together for a few years now. We kind of interweave different meetings together and intersect. And so anytime, we talked about eligibility. Hope talked a little bit about eligibility. But for me, as a person who works in pre-K to 12 public, I often talk with school nurses. That's my biggest role, talking with school nurses and teachers and saying, if you've come to find out about a family who maybe their status has changed. Maybe one of their parents has been lost or, has died or maybe lost a job. Their income has changed.
Right.
And so maybe before they weren't qualifying for WIC or some other programs that can help them, maybe now they are qualified.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure
keep
there's
your
a
ear out.
constant shifting of people,
Yeah.
either being eligible or all of a sudden being ineligible.
Right.
But, that's great. So I know what Hope really did is she brought you along because she really is saying, if you don't want to believe me, just listen to her.
We support
Always
each other.
listen to your nurse.
Absolutely. Yep.
No, we believe you anyway, Hope.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just a little
So where is WIC Day? You're having an event?
Yeah, so we're having an event right downtown at 3 Washington Square at Community Action on Thursday, May 2nd. 9:30 to 11, we're welcoming our community partners. We rely very heavily on our community partners to help spread the word about WIC, and we're inviting them in to come tour the program, to meet our staff, to taste refreshments made with WIC-approved foods, and explore community action as well. And then from 11 to 1, we are inviting all our families to come in and enjoy the day and the refreshments and a raffle prize or two.
Wonderful.
Really nice. Yeah.
3 Washington.
3 Washington. You going to go, Ralph?
I might go.
Yeah.
If I...
They have snacks.
I always want
right.
to go to things, but I always have to say that I have to look at my calendar. I still use an old calendar book because when I don't put it on my phone for whatever reason, but I'll write things down. So I'll look at my calendar, and if I can go, I'll go.
So what is it, May 2nd? That's a Thursday. And what time does it start? It starts...
Yeah, so for our community partners, 9:30 to 11 in the morning.
Okay.
And then for all families, we're saying 11 to 1. And that's just to break it up and spread it out and so that everyone gets a chance
Good.
to tour through.
Good.
So.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you remember and I remember, we'll stop
Yeah, we'll
by.
go.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
bring that old hat that says press on the side, so
I'm waiting for it. I ordered it from
Oh,
Amazon.
yeah.
Yeah. If I start wearing a press hat, all my friends at City Hall are going to start running from me. I'm not a journalist, even though people think I'm one now.
you do just fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. What else can you tell us, or would you like to tell us?
Sure. One added benefit to families who come in and enroll with us is we provide referrals to other services. So families coming in, they may also benefit from the other programs at Community Action, such as heating assistance, adult education, which provides GED or HiSET, which it's called now, emergency assistance with housing and utilities, early Head Start, early childhood programs. Those are all the programs of Community Action. And then we refer to outside of Community Action as well to dental and health providers, early intervention, how to access SNAP. You mentioned SNAP. So that's...
So there's so many resources that if people know that they're there, they can apply, and if they qualify.
Correct.
I actually had a relative who used your heating fuel assistance, and it helped her immensely to get over the humps over the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we come back from the break, what I'd be interested in is the program's 40 years old, 43 years old. There must be some data available about how effective it's been.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I can share that.
she has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Hope.
Okay.
Oh, all right. We'll do it now.
All right. Well, unless, we could take a break and...
It's your call.
Oh, what's this? We got to get you a new thing. I can't.
Yeah, he needs
Next what?
Guest.
Guest.
On hold.
Oh, okay. Oh,
All right.
all right. Okay. We have another guest coming in. Just tell that guest that we'll be with him just in a short while. Okay, so let's wrap up everything that you would like to say, and then we'll also give you a chance to just reset how to connect with you and Community Action, and we'll thank you for coming in.
Okay, thank you. So,
All right.
so some highlights
Yes.
of the program.
Yes.
So WIC, we reduce premature births. For infants, we reduce healthcare costs. So for every dollar spent on WIC, it saves $4 in Medicaid costs related to birth outcomes. We reduce infant mortality, iron deficiency anemia in children. We reduce. WIC children enter school ready to learn with better math and vocabulary skills.
Yep.
And WIC nationally serves 53% of infants born in the U.S. In Mass, we serve about 44% here in Massachusetts. And then in Haverhill, Greater Haverhill, we're serving about 33% of all infants. But keep in mind, we're only serving 72% of those who are eligible, and those are infants, and only 41% of eligible children and 40% of eligible women. So we have some work to do with outreach and getting eligible people in the door. And we have 4 sites. We have our full-time Haverhill site, but we have 3 part-time sites, one in Amesbury, one in Beverly, one in Gloucester. We're very proud of some achievements that we've had at the local level. We are 80% of our women at our program choose to start off breastfeeding their babies. 82% of WIC children are fully immunized by the time they're preschool age. And WIC children are at healthy weight, children who are at a healthy weight, we've reached 87%. So, and that's a big improvement from years past. So
Sure.
that was great. And our local program received a high honor from USDA, the Gold Premier Breastfeeding Award for outstanding breastfeeding support and education. So we're really proud of those achievements. And how
Go ahead.
you can contact us, call our main office at 978-374-2191 to schedule an appointment. You can call Community Action to speak to me or any other Community Action program at 978-373-1971. And check out our websites at mass.gov/WIC or communityactioninc.org.
And you are Hope Davenport, if they're going to ask for you by name, or they could just ask for the WIC director or the WIC offices. Yeah. And then, of course, we have Shannon Toulouse.
Toulouse,
Okay,
yes.
All right.
So,
And
yeah.
Go ahead. And
Yeah, just thank you for having us on. I think, as Hope mentioned, we're not reaching all of the eligible families and women that we can be reaching. And so in order to help the most families that we can here in our city, it's important to do outreach like this. And so we really appreciate your time here
Very
today.
happy to help. Why don't we try to make it an annual event that
Let's
we
do
at
it.
least get people interested? And if you have something else coming up, matter of fact, you should probably remind us about your event that you're going to be doing at the farmers market. And we can help promote that, even if it's just getting public service announcements running for that, so that people will be aware a little bit more, because we got lots of people that listen and watch here at WHAV. All right, we are going to take a short break. We're coming back with a special call-in guest, even special, nobody knows about this except me
Really?
and the caller on the line. And I'll tell you who it is to keep everybody just waiting. It's Dave LeBrode.
No kidding.
Yep, he's going to talk to us about the Earth Day and the cleanup that's coming up.
Wonderful.
All right, we'll be right back with Dave LeBrode on the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the Open Mic Show will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900.
It's 6:35.
On air and online, 97.9 WHAV is at your service. Every hour, you're up to the minute with exclusive local news and wave weather, special Merrimack Valley features, public service announcements, classic radio theater, and the best 60s, 70s, and 80s music anywhere. You're hearing Haverhill's news source, The Wave, 97.9 WHAV FM. Did you know radio still reaches more than 93% of people of every age, every week? It's a fact. 97.9 WHAV Merrimack Valley audience averages 93% of everyone. As other media cuts back, folks in our area are turning to 97.9 WHAV for local news, information, and the best music anywhere. And 97.9 WHAV listeners know our business messages are more credible, more trustworthy than other advertising. Learn how 97.9 WHAV connects your business with more people than all other local media combined. Call 978-374-1900, 374-1900, or online anytime at WHAV.net.
Wave weather.
Now your wave weather forecast for Haverhill in the Merrimack Valley. Few showers, maybe even isolated thunderstorm tonight with a 15 to 20 mile per hour northeast breeze. Patchy fog could develop as well, and some heavy rainfall early in this evening as we drop just a few clicks back into the upper 40s. Overcast skies, temperatures holding right at 50 for Tuesday. Winds up to around 10 to 15 miles per hour from the northeast. Tuesday night, a few showers, mainly cloudy, low 45. And for the day Wednesday, an isolated shower, a few peaks of sunshine, will warm into the lower 60s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Brian Ivy. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Catch the wave, WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are back on the Open Mic Show, and as I said, Ralph, we have Dave LeBrode, a friend of both of us.
A tree guy.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Bill?
Yeah, good. He is a tree guy, but he's also a runner. He does so many good things. He fixes park benches. He does all kinds of good stuff. This guy is important to Haverhill, and one of the things that he's also involved with is the cleanup.
So Earth Day.
Yeah, Earth Day clean. Well, Earth Day is the 22nd, right, Dave?
That's today.
You're right. Today's Earth Day. But we're going to wait and do the cleanup next Saturday, correct?
That's correct.
And that was a postponement from last Saturday.
That's correct.
Due to the weather.
New England.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So what I'm going to stop talking about stuff that I want you to talk about. So do you have some things you'd like to just discuss and like look for volunteers and how people should go about in getting involved with this great cleanup day?
Well, Bill, the Earth Day cleanup, per se, in one form or another, has been ongoing for some 20-plus years. When I recall, when I first got involved, it was, I remember walking into the foyer at City Hall, and I know the Chamber was involved at that point, and I think Jim was the mayor, so it does go back a ways.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
And the Chamber and the city and Brightside were involved. And it's been going on that way for some 20 years. And I don't know, it was about 10 years or so ago that I got more involved in coordinating the effort with Brightside. And I wanted to try to bring it up to, like a lot of my road races, to have a nice organized registration with sponsors and PR and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that's when I got involved with Vinny Ollette, the Park and Rec director.
Sure.
Who I've been hearing is rumored to be retiring soon.
July 1st.
That's right. And
Yep.
that should be a gala extravaganza.
Yeah,
but
we will definitely miss him, and I'm hoping he was supposed to find a replacement and start training like around the first of the year. So I don't know if that's in play or not, but we can only hope.
Well, you certainly can. There may be another person in his position, but you're not going to replace Vinny.
No, you can't. Vinny's a special sort and one of a kind.
He's basically the liaison between the volunteers, the volunteer organization Brightside, and the city. And he does a lot of work in coordinating the efforts, logistical efforts. Actually, it's Vinny's Park and Rec website where people can go and sign up for the cleanup. And what happened, as it often happens in New England, this is at least the second postponement that I've been involved with. It wasn't forecasted well for Saturday. And at the same token, it was a religious holiday that weekend, and we weren't quite sure how the numbers were going to be because of that.
Right.
The combination of everything, we thought it was best to postpone it to this coming Saturday.
I think that was definitely a good call. So now, can they go right now to the website? Is it set up for registration?
Well, unfortunately, what happened was, it's going to be back up, but what happened was it closed down on, I think, Friday at 9 o'clock. It was an automatic shutdown.
Sure, it was set up
so,
for the original date.
Right.
Right.
And so what they're going to have to do, and I think Vinny's going to get around to it, he's kind of busy right now, he's just got to reopen it.
Okay.
So what people can do, it's haverhillrec.com, rec.com. And keep an eye open, go in tomorrow morning and see if it's been reopened. And even if it hasn't reopened, you can show up that morning and simply register that morning of the event at 8:30.
And where do they show up?
That would be at the Citizen Center at 10 Welcome Street.
Okay. And you need you don't need just workers. You also you mentioned to me that you also need some other categories of people working, handing things out, and
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
What's happened because of the postponement, as it often does, it's an inconvenience, and some people have other plans. And just so happens a lot of our logistical administrative people who handle things that day inside at the Citizen Center aren't going to be there. They're the people who direct people over to where to sign up, to ask questions and things like that, and to make sure everybody shows up. And with a little help, we can help them out. So if someone wants to volunteer, but they don't feel like they're capable, or they just don't want to go out to outside and do stuff, they can help us out that morning at logistically at the Citizen Center.
And what would be the time that everything starts to kick off?
Well, we like to have our volunteers there by 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Because technically or logistically speaking, we have people meeting at the Citizen Center at 8:30, and we actually prefer two things. For them to sign up online if they can, because don't forget, we have a raffle of 2 nice bikes that Riverside Cycle has given us, and there's a male bike and a female bike. And if you sign up online, well, it was originally going to be that Friday, but I believe we're going to extend it to this Friday, you'll be eligible to win one of those bikes.
And if somebody shows up, should they have breakfast before they show up, or
No,
you got some
that's
stuff
one
there,
of the great
right?
things about our sponsors. We
Yeah.
have plenty of sponsors that help us out. One of them happens to be Heavenly Donuts.
Oh,
Another one
okay.
happens to be Starbucks.
Say no more. Yep.
And we also have Haverhill beef with food, and we have Spring Hill water, and then we also have Battlegrounds, where you can stop down and get a free small coffee during the day with your Earth Day cleanup shirt.
Nice. So you got shirts to give away too?
Yes, we do. We have 400 T-shirts, and last year, because of the good weather, we had over 400. We ran out of shirts, and I might even bring some of my old shirts that I have from previous years. In case we run out, we can always give out the old shirts.
Sure. Those
Like
may
recycling.
they may be worth more. It is a collector's item.
Yeah.
Classics.
That's right. There's not many of those around.
So I have a little bit of Earth Day news.
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
Ralph.
For the second year in a row, the Haverhill Conservation Commission, we've become, in the last couple of years, a more proactive commission in a number of ways. And one of them is we get together on Earth Day for the cleanup. Last year we were at Crystal Lake. This year, because I have the great honor of being the chair of the Vietnam Commission, we're going to clean up the entrance to Plug Pond, to Lake Saltonstall, just north of our park. The park I know is clean because I stop there every 3 days and pick up whatever's there, as well as the neighbors. So we'll be out there, a number of us, Saturday morning. Of course, with the change, some people couldn't make it, but I looked at my schedule today, found out I was available, so I'll see you Saturday, Dave.
Well, that's wonderful news, Joe. I mean, we Ted Becker often cleans up inside, and it's everybody's scattered about this year. It seems that where they want to. Tom Sullivan is involved with Winnie Kinney. I'm involved with a small park in the Highlands, the Windsor Park, and our other folks are down across at the White Street Park. One of the things, Bill, that originally it always was the popular places that were cleaned up. Like downtown got a lot of attention, and Winnie Kinney to some degree got it. Riverside and some of the more recreational areas would get attention. And over the years, as we've involved, we wanted to try to get more of the communities involved, and we all know that there's more and more active local neighborhood groups. And what we're seeing in the past 5 years or so is the Mount Washington folks, the Acre folks, the Highland folks, the Bradford folks, all come out and do their own cleanup. And that's great, because at one time, a lot of these folks did them independently. I mean, this is the one thing that I wanted to try to achieve way back when. In the springtime, you always got, the Kiwanis did this, the Lions did that, the Little League people did this, and they were all doing them on different dates.
Right.
Which puts somewhat of a strain on the infrastructure of the highway guys, because every weekend they got to go up and clean in this little area and that little area. So one of my goals, was to try to unite everybody to do one cleanup one day. And it's worked out.
And it's working.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, great. Hey, Dave, can I ask you to just pause? We're going to pause for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll be right back, and we'll carry on our discussion.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, we have Dave LeBrode on the phone with us, and I'm Bill Macek, and Ralph Basiliere is here, and we're carrying on another open mic show, and we're going to be here till 8 o'clock tonight. We got another guest coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, so don't go away. And if you'd like to join us, you can also call 978-374-1900, and we'll speak to you too, right here on the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic!
Bill Macek and the Open Mic Show will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900.
On air and online, all the time. 97.9 WHAV FM. WHAV broadcasts more Greater Haverhill news more often than anyone else combined. Support Haverhill-based news with your tax-deductible local support. Go to WHAV.net. Click on the membership button, and thank you. From 97.9 FM, WHAV.
Catch the wave!
Melinda's Garden Moments help gardeners create and maintain a healthy, beautiful garden with ease, inside or out and all year long. This is Melinda Myers, inviting you to tune in every weekday morning, right here on WHAV. You'll learn creative ways to grow your own vegetables and herbs while beautifying your landscape. Eco-friendly lawn care, flower garden design basics, unique container gardens, attracting birds and butterflies to the landscape, and much more. Again, please join me weekday mornings for Melinda's Garden Moment for a very environmentally friendly approach to gardening. Remember, only local radio can bring you this feature opportunity, but only WHAV does.
WHAV Open Mic!
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we are back on the Open Mic Show, and we have Dave LeBrode, who is not helping, he's kind of coordinating, I think, along with Vinny Ouellette and all the people involved with the Haverhill Cleanup Day, which is going to be this Saturday. And Dave, now I see from your notes that you sent along that the Highway Department is also actively involved.
Well, the thing is, Bill, there's so many people involved, and how many times you hear, just too many to think. But, we have Harmony, who's one of our coordinators, Linda Brown, and Denise Johnson. There's so many people. But the thing is, the Highway Department, I've always been amazed at how, everybody, it's all hands on deck. And all the guys come out. I work with these guys quite often, especially Neil Kelleher with the Park and Tree guys.
Yeah.
And they're all out there, to help out. And, they're out there. And I'll tell you, you make a phone call to Vinny and say, look, I'm up at Windsor Park. We just got some sweepings here, and we've got some brush. And, within an hour, you see the truck come by.
The truck shows
and
up,
he'll pick it up.
picks it up, yeah.
Well, my recollection is that the mayor has always been fully behind this. So when he...
No, the mayor loves it, Ralph.
Yeah.
It's what he wants. And, he's somewhat of an environmentalist himself. As you know, he's big into trees and parks and stuff like that. And, you'll see Jim, and he'll be down there, and he participated in that little the little fun thing that's going on the Facebook there, where they're calling people out to pick up trash around the neighborhood. And I went on and said, I challenge you to come down on Earth Day and pick up the entire city.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
And,
you
we have
do get
people-
downtown, right? You send some people in the downtown area, but you also
What
get
it
out
is-
into the residential areas.
Yes. Obviously, this is all on city-owned property. You can't be cleaning up your front yard and putting it out there. But you can clean up in front of your house, and that's the whole thing, Bill. We have, there's too many spots already to tell you. But you don't have to go too far to find a place to pick up, especially in the springtime after all the winter melt.
I know. I've already kind of done it in front of my house. I swear I live right on it's a little bit of a turn, but I think people think because we've got some trees right after us that people think, oh, nobody will see me here because they throw out, I get all the different fast food restaurants and the cups, and I pick them up almost every week.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Well, guys, the funny thing is, being a runner, I see a lot of stuff out there.
I bet you do,
And the two things that have come to mind in terms of litter are obviously nips. I'm seeing more nips than ever before.
Lots of nips.
I get those too. Yeah.
And those little dental floss things.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were at first. I go, those are those little throwaway dental floss things. And it's what they're doing is they're cleaning the teeth, and out the window it goes.
Yeah, I think you're right. But you know what has gone down, though, I think, are cigarette butts.
You're absolutely right,
the
Bill.
filters.
I was going to say that. I just don't see the butts like I used to.
Yeah, I don't see those like I used to either. But every once in a while, you used to go into a parking lot and somebody dumps the whole ashtray.
Yeah, the whole
right
ashtray.
there.
Yeah. Well, there's no
that?
ashtrays in cars anymore.
No, that's true. My, how things have changed.
Well, people, they're just not picking up trash. They're raking, they're sprucing up stuff. Some of the community gardens will probably be looked at. I know that Team Haverhill's headed out to the Portland Street playground to clean that up.
Correct.
And that's what I mean. They got a perfect opportunity to get together, get their group together. Some of the schools will get their groups together. The Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts will come together. It's really, it's a true citywide community event where all the various groups that I've mentioned earlier can come together on one day in one big, swoop to help us out.
It's a great idea, and that you've put together, and congratulations on thinking that that's the way it should get kind of all grouped together for one big day. But it goes back to what I always say, and that Haverhill has a certain type of person that you don't find everywhere. We got great people in our city.
Good people.
And it's like, it just hit me when you were talking, Dave, that, I don't know if we've used it yet, but we could also use the push phrase, Haverhill Cares, because we care about our communities, our community events and things that are going on.
I would be amiss not to mention one very important person who's the matriarch of
No, you don't have to mention me, Dave.
Well, you're close, but Elaine Barker.
Oh,
absolutely.
Elaine, a little giant.
She is a ball of fire. She just goes. She's the ever-ready lady.
Yeah, what a nice person she is.
Yeah, she is a sweetheart.
And she is the person who I mentioned to. She will, don't forget, she's the one who founded Brightside all those many years ago.
Yeah, I did not know that.
She was the first director. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
We've had some great people running Brightside. And
Linda Brown's coming up as the next director.
Is that official?
Great.
Can we say that on radio? I don't know.
Well,
I just said it.
Right.
I just heard it, so I think he said it.
Yeah.
I guess it's official now. Yeah, Chris is stepping down. I believe it's July 1st, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm hearing.
She'll stay on in like an advisory capacity of some sort.
She's done a wonderful job with it.
But we've had Denise Johnson. We've had Doug Edison. Yeah. So we've had some really great people that have worked very hard to make Brightside work.
And guys, you see that everywhere in the city. You see Brightside's work.
Yeah,
you really do.
And this is just part of it.
But Chris has done a great job, and we can't say enough about what she's accomplished. Keeps going a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. And
they got a beautiful little
I'm
office
sure
up
Linda
there at the barn.
will take over and take it to another new level.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you, I've learned this about Linda Brown. When I pick up the phone and need something done on the Vietnam Commission, she never disappoints.
No.
I have some. I have what I call the Gang of Five. These 5 commissioners that I can always call. And specific to their skill set or their connections or what have you, and they always come through. And Linda Brown is one of them.
She absolutely is.
We're happy to
But
get
I
her.
gotta say, the whole Historic Highlands Neighborhood Association
Fantastic.
is a model for all the other neighborhood associations to follow.
Absolutely. You know, Lou Fossarelli had the great idea of moving the memorial over to Millbrook Park, and you can probably guess who tried to say it was his idea, but it was Lou's. And we all knew that was just the greatest spot, and we reached out. Joe Bevilacqua reached out to the Highlands. We met the neighbors around the park. They fully supported it. I cannot tell you how much easier it made it to be able to sit, by the way, and have to really go through data and have tough conversations with the mayor and say, you know, we have the full support of the Highlands. And I think he was pleasantly surprised by that. But that relationship with the Highlands has done wonders for that project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great group.
You know,
and they're good for the city, too.
That's your group, isn't it, Dave?
Well,
You're
yes,
part
it
of
is.
that?
It's funny. The Highlands, there are at least, I would have to say, 4 parks, little what I call pocket parks or urban green spaces located within the Highlands.
Yeah.
And the Millbrook and Whites, all these particular parks at one time or another were adopted, but you know, things come and go. People come and go.
Right.
And it's great to see the renewed interest in these smaller, what I would call a passive park, where we put a green bench out there so people can just relax and enjoy the area, in many cases where they live.
You know what I love
we've
about
done
those parks in the Highlands? They're all triangles. There's 4 of them.
That's true.
And
That's
they're
true.
triangular, just little parks, just little oases. And that's just, I can't say enough about the Highlands group.
Yep, nor can I. So, anything else, Dave? We've got a couple of minutes. If you just want to refresh, what you're crying out for Saturday morning and throughout the day for the cleanup day.
Well, first thing, Bill, folks can go on to Facebook if they're on Facebook, and our Facebook page is simply Haverhill Annual Cleanup. You can just put that in their little search engine, and they'll find it on Facebook. But if they don't have Facebook, they can go on haverhillrec.com and get information on the city's website. Or if they don't have any of that, they simply can stop down 8:30 Saturday morning at 10 Welcome Street at the Citizen Center and say, look, I want to pick up. I'm not quite sure where I can go, but I'll go wherever you want me, and we'll find a place for you to go.
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
All right, so Saturday it is, this coming Saturday. The weather's supposed to be good.
I'm hearing that, and I'm liking that.
Yeah, me too. So thank you very much for your time, and I'm sure you're going to have a great Saturday and a lot of support. Hopefully this show has helped a little bit to bring a few more bodies to your event. And I just want to thank you for all you personally do for the city too, Dave. And you
It's a labor of
it
love,
up.
Bill.
I know it is. Keep building those benches.
I certainly will. Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Okay, Dave
Thank you.
LeBrode, everybody. Another great
Does a
Haverhill
great
resident.
job.
He does. Okay, we are just about out of time for this hour, Ralph. And next hour,
Wow, was it flying?
we got a friend of yours.
Yeah, Tom Wylie's going to be on. Tom
Wiley.
Wylie, a man of many hats, very, very humble, an incredibly accomplished, profoundly decent guy, very, very humble.
Now, he really just wanted to talk poetry tonight.
Oh,
I
we're
think
going to
I
drag
think
him
you're
into
gonna-
other
You're
things.
going to pull him out.
We're going to pull him into other things.
All right, so don't anybody go away. Keep it right here for the top of the hour information, and we'll be right back for another hour on the Open Mic Show, heard every Monday night on WHAV from 6 to 8 p.m. right here at 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the Open Mic Show will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900.
It's 7 o'clock.
WHAV LP Haverhill.
Here's the latest WHAV news. I'm Wynn Damon. A state agency is investigating an April 12th child restraint issue at St. James School in Haverhill that, at least for a week, did not come with any district-ordered suspensions, seemingly contradicting newly articulated school policy. The incident, the second in a month, was confirmed for WHAV Friday by a spokeswoman for the State Department of Children and Families, the agency whose role is to keep children safe from abuse and neglect. Also reported, it has not yet completed its investigation of a March 29th incident that saw the school principal and 4 others placed on paid leave. On Saturday morning, following WHAV's inquiries, Haverhill School Superintendent Margaret Murata notified the school committee by email, quote, "The staff members will be placed on paid leave, as this has been the consistent practice across the school year," Murata wrote, offering no explanation for the week-long delay. The latest incident, according to those with knowledge of it, involved a student who, quote, punched Assistant Special Education Director John DeMonch in the face and hit him with a chair. The student was then restrained by DeMonch and a temporary staff member. It's not clear who filed the report with the state or when. DeMonch and temp staff have been in place since Haverhill Alternative School Principal John DiPaolo was placed on paid leave immediately after the March 29th episode, following several days later by 4 staffers who came to his defense. In that case, according to a 15-year staff member, a student, quote, repeatedly kicked and punched staff and headbutted 2 staff. At the last Haverhill School Committee meeting, most speakers came to DiPaolo's defense or criticized changes in the special education programs. DiPaolo, an 18-year veteran of the school, had overseen both the Haverhill Alternative School and the Therapeutic Education Assessment Center of Haverhill until the beginning of the school year. He was replaced at Teach by Lynn Snow. He was also suspended 3 weeks last fall for a similar incident, for which he was eventually cleared. The collection of events caused some to speculate DiPaolo is being targeted by the new administration. A second Haverhill man arrested for the April 5th Ridgedale fight lost his temper with a Haverhill District Court judge and assistant district attorney during arraignment last week over what the man said were false claims that made him look bad in the wake of a bloody convenience store brawl. WHAV was the only news outlet in the courtroom April 18th when Stephen Hines lost his temper and mouthed off to Haverhill District Court Judge Stephen Abaney and Assistant District Attorney John DiPaolo so much that Abaney threatened to remove him from the courtroom. A defiant Hines, brought into the courtroom in cuffs with 4 court officers surrounding him, faced a judge after being arrested on a fugitive from justice charge Wednesday. At arraignment, he faced 1 count of unarmed robbery, allegedly stealing $2 during the Ridgedale melee, and assault and battery, according to police. As DiPaolo recounted the facts of the case, Hines couldn't hold his tongue, causing Abaney to take action.
He's going to talk all while I'm talking.
Yeah, because you're lying.
That's his MO.
That's why I'm going to talk. Because he's lying. That's okay. I'm tired of this guy because he always makes me look bad every time I come up here. I'm sick of it. Just sit there and let him say what he wants.
He has a right to say what he wants.
Yeah, most of it's bull.
As WHAV exclusively reported last week, Haverhill police were called to 73 White Street for a report of a disturbance. 5'4" Jeremy Coito, also of Haverhill, was said to be sticking up for a friend bullied by the panhandling Hines when he allegedly struck Hines with a closed fist 7 times and kicked him 4 times. In court, Hines said he required several staples in his head as a result of the 23-minute confrontation captured on surveillance video. According to DiPaolo, Hines often uses his 5'11", 240-pound frame to intimidate others, including downtown business owners and patrons.
More manhandling in this case, more than panhandling. He's been arrested 17 times.
Coito faces a bench trial with the outcome decided by a judge, not a jury, next month. Hines, despite court-appointed attorney Andrew Benson's objections. Coito faces a bench trial with the outcome decided by a judge, not a jury, next month. Hines, despite court-appointed attorney Andrew Benson's objections, was held on $1,000 cash bail until his next court appearance, May 13th. And Bradford-based Brian Mojica, the CEO of medical clothing company Cathwear, has been appointed to the Northern Essex Community College Alumni Board, the school telling WHAV in a statement. A 2006 graduate of the school's radiologic technology program, Lawrence native Mojica went on to receive a bachelor's degree in nursing from UMass Lowell in 2015. As WHAV was first to report last summer, Mojica also looks forward to giving back to the Merrimack Valley through his Cathwear brand, a line of medical undergarments designed for patients who use catheters. Top of mind for Mojica is the overall patient experience.
Out of everything that they have to deal with, if we can just take this one thing away from them while they're undergoing that treatment, and just restoring that dignity and privacy for these patients, it personally means a lot to me being a nurse. I can just imagine what the patient would feel.
To participate in Mojica's trial, or for more information, visit Cathware's Facebook page. WHAV Sports, the Boston Bruins playoff series with the Toronto Maple Leafs will have a Game 7 tomorrow night in Boston, with the best-of-7 series tied up at 3 wins each. And the Celtics eliminated the Indiana Pacers yesterday in 4 straight to move on to the next round of the NBA playoffs. The Red Sox are scheduled to play the Tigers at Fenway Park tonight. On the high school schedule for today, in softball, Drake at Methuen with Central Catholic at Billerica, Essex Tech at Masconomet. Baseball today, Haverhill's at Methuen, Central Catholic at Lawrence, Essex Tech at Minuteman, and Mystic Valley at Greater Lawrence. Girls lacrosse, it's Whittier at Neshoba Tech and Pentucket at Masconomet. College baseball today, Merrimack takes on St. Michael's at the New England Baseball Complex in Northborough. And in softball, Merrimack is at Franklin Pierce for a doubleheader. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source, and there's always more at WHAV.net, where you can sign up for free digital news headlines. From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is Win Damon.
Wave weather.
Now your wave weather forecast for Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. Few showers, maybe even isolated thunderstorm tonight with a 15 to 20 mile per hour northeast breeze. Patchy fog could develop as well, and some heavy rainfall early in this evening as we drop just a few clicks back into the upper 40s. Overcast skies, temperatures holding right at 50 for Tuesday. Winds up to around 10 to 15 miles per hour from the northeast. Tuesday night, a few showers, mainly cloudy, low 45. And for the day Wednesday, an isolated shower, a few peaks of sunshine, will warm into the lower 60s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Brian Ivy. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Local information and the best music. This is Public Radio for Greater Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. 97.9 WHAV. .9 FM WHAV.
Catch the wave, WHAV. Merrimack Valley. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we are back for our second hour on the Open Mic Show. I'm Bill Macek. Ralph Basiliere is here, and our guest for this hour is Tom Wylie. Now, Tom, you said you wanted to come in and talk about the Haverhill River Bards poetry program in particular, right?
That's right.
Okay.
But you can ask me anything.
Well, I think because
we will.
Ralph knows you much better than I do, so I think Ralph may have a few questions for you before your time's up.
Yeah, I might have some surprises for him too.
Okay. Well, all right. So with that start, and also let me say that if anybody wants to call in because you know Tom and you'd like to ask him a question, or because you're interested in what he's talking about, just give us a call at 978-374-1900. That's the Open Mic Show number, and that's the same number every week. Unlike
There
you,
we
Ralph,
go.
you keep changing your number. Why do you
Change
do that?
Well, because I've become so popular doing the open mic show that the phone does not stop ringing.
That's it. I know. All right. Okay. Enough of that. Tom?
Yes?
How would you like to start about your poetry discussion?
Oh, sure. I've lived in Bradford for 33 years, but I've worked in colleges in 4 different states. So it's been sort of a bedroom community for me.
Home base.
In Boston, Maine, Rhode Island, a little bit in Connecticut. And about 20 years ago, when I was working in Rhode Island, I took some poetry classes with really great people at Brown University. And when I came back up here to semi-retired, I still work in higher education. I teach at Northeastern in education, not in literature or poetry. I was investigating what kind of community poetry events happen in Haverhill. In a little research I uncovered, there was an organization called the Greater Haverhill Poets Association. They used to meet at the Haverhill Public Library. And I looked them up, and they kind of disbanded. They did a nice little publication, an anthology in '06, which I have a copy of, and you can still get it at the Friend Shop at the library.
Yeah.
So anyway, I met with a group of people. Richard Smith is one. He's an excellent poet. He lives in Bradford.
Yeah,
And
I know Richard Smith.
Susan
Yeah.
LaFontaine.
Yeah.
Daniel, Dan, oh goodness, I'm blanking on his last name. It'll come to me. And Cody Cucker, who teaches English. And runs the poetry class at the high school. So anyhow, the four of us with Jen Ard. It's kind of cool because Jen runs Creative Haverhill, and I met her because she's sort of like all over town, and she had a little office there on that place near Essex Street where her first office was, I think.
Yep, Jen's great.
AC Media or somebody's there
she's
now.
Full of energy.
So we had our first reading there.
Yeah.
And drew about 20 people. and then we
Creative
went over it,
Haverhill is such another little asset.
They are. They really.
She's
really,
great.
That's a labor of love.
Yep.
Too bad you had to give up that space, but I totally understand.
Yep.
So then we had a reading at the Arts Cafe when that was there, and then Battlegrounds was about to open up. So I went in and I talked to the owners, and they said, "Sure, we'd love to have you."
Yeah.
So they said, Well, actually, they didn't quite say we'd love to have you.
Dana
They
and
said,
Sal.
Dana and Sal. Well,
Yeah.
They said, "Well, we don't know what you're going to be doing. We'll give it a try." And we drew about 30 people, and they said, "You can come here as long as you want. You can have every Friday."
30 people. That's a good draw.
That's a good draw there.
That is a good draw.
We do a series. We're in our third year of 3 to 4 poets. Right now, it's a spring series of 3, April, May, and June.
Battlegrounds has a nice setup though because you can kind of be to the side and back, and they can still have their regular.
Yeah, there's a little stage, and we set up there. We bring
Yeah.
our own mic and our own audio and so forth, and they're really nice about it. They turn down the music, turn
Yeah.
off the machines, and the readers read for 20 minutes usually. We always have a guest poet.
Yeah.
And then there's a little break, and then we have up to 10 people who are allowed to pretty much say what they want to say for 3 to 5 minutes. And the crowds vary. It's been, like I say, up 35 or 40, but that's really packing them in there. And we've had small ones.
That's
10,
nice.
10 or 12.
And how often have you been doing this?
This is our third year.
Third year. Wow.
Yep.
Cool. Not very nice.
And it's nice with Creative Haverhill because they do great PR. And
Yeah.
we just had Alfred Nicole. He's a really well-known poet from the Powwow Poets in Newburyport.
Yeah.
And he drew a lot of people. And then May 3rd, coming up, we're going to have they're called the Reservoir Writers. They're the poetry club at the high school.
Okay.
And they come, and a lot of times their parents come. It's kind of a nice event. And then in June, we have another powwow poet, Paulette Demers Turco, who was poet laureate in Amesbury. So that's our spring series, and then we'll have another series in the fall.
So tell me, how does the name Haverhill River Bards come into play, or what is it?
We actually had a brainstorm session with Jen in her first office location, and we threw out a number of phrases, and we came
That's
up
the
with,
one that
let's
stuck.
try bards instead of poets,
Yeah.
and something about the river. So we wanted Haverhill in there, so we came up with Haverhill River Bards.
I like it. It sounds
There you
good.
go.
I knew you were coming. You wanted to talk about that. I didn't know what it was, but it caught my attention. It's a good name.
It's kind of nice, and the open mic is particularly enthralling because you get a wide range of people, and it's really kind of fun.
That's
Some
good.
people have never read public before and are kind of leery about it. We do everything we can to help them relax, and others are very experienced poets, and they want the experience of speaking to an audience in Haverhill.
Now, do you have outreach looking for new poets that would like to get involved?
Yeah, that's sort of what we all do. I've drawn some people from Boston, Charles Coe in particular. He was with the Massachusetts Cultural Council. He just has another book out. He's come twice. He's actually a singer. And we've had, at least 3 other poets from the Boston area, and many from other parts of Merrimack Valley. So
That's fantastic. Hey, we got to take a short break.
No problem.
Just for a minute or so, and then we'll be right back, and we'll start talking. Maybe you're going to read something?
Sure, I have some that I can read.
All right. Okay.
We'll
Tom
be
Wylie,
right back with
Tom
Haverhill's
Wylie,
most interesting guy.
right here on the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the Open Mic Show will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900.
This time could have been your time. Support 97.9 WHAV local service with your announcement on FM radio. Go to WHAV.net and click advertising to reach thousands of new customers. On air 24/7 and online all the time. 97.9 WHAV.
That we deliberate and achieve with wisdom and understanding, recognizing the rights of all of our citizens with full regard for the dignity and justice of the individual.
Each week, WHAV News brings you live gavel-to-gavel coverage of the Haverhill City Council. Listen to 97.9 WHAV FM each Tuesday night at 7 when the City Council is in session from the Theodore A. Pelosi Jr. City Council Chambers in City Hall. Presented as a public service from 97.9 WHAV FM.
Community Spotlight.
Massachusetts native and Olympic ice skater Nancy Kerrigan is headed to the area on Wednesday, May 8th for a dinner and autograph signing for locals at Tuscan Kitchen, 67 Main Street, Salem, New Hampshire, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tickets for the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce sponsored event are $35 and are available by calling 978-686-0900. Meet Nancy Kerrigan, Sunday, May 8th from 5 till 7 p.m. 978-686-0900 for more information. And submit your own nonprofit events and announcements at least 3 weeks in advance. For best results, use the online form under the Contact tab at WHAV.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is John Lee.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we're back on the Open Mic Show. Bill Macek, Ralph Basiliere, and Tom Wylie, who is our poet for the evening here on the Open Mic Show. We had another famous poet. Unfortunately, we never had him on the Open Mic. I think his last name was Whittier.
Yeah, move over John Greenleaf Whittier.
Yeah, so maybe we can
I don't think the wavelengths were going really well back then.
No, I don't think so. Maybe we can get Tom to be the next Whittier.
Listen,
I'm just trying to turn the heat up here. We want you to
You're turning it up
read,
big time.
read your finest piece here, Mr. Poet.
Well, I have a couple of works in progress. I'm going to read this first
all right.
one.
Good.
It's a series of couplets. It's an education-related poem entitled Teaching. Teachers, when they begin their lesson plan, are watchful with looks in a staring eye, with the focus upon each student in the class and special attention to those arriving last. Moving slowly into the lesson plan, explaining, listening, calling by name. When the years of teaching come to an end, they sit alone and wonder the effort made. Within each student was success attained. Is it possible learning was conveyed?
I like that. That
Ends with a question
came
mark.
From a voice of knowledge.
Yes.
I think somebody actually experienced that to write it. Okay. Very good. I like that.
From a lifelong
So
educator.
we're going to let you do another one, at least.
Oh, okay.
At least one more.
This is a Valentine's poem.
Oh, a love poem.
From the winter of 2015.
Written by you, right? You're
The
not
winter of 2015, it snowed like crazy.
You're not just reading
Well,
this, right,
yeah.
Tom?
Listen, my young man.
You wrote this, right?
Uh-huh.
This is your work.
Oh, how I love thee. As the snow still falls and the ladder shakes, you call to me while handing me the snow rake and comment, did you notice your socks stink? And I must remind you, your dishes were left in the sink. As I scrape and pull from the top rung at the 4-foot drifts of snow and ice, I am thinking if this ladder slips, despite our years of love, it won't turn out nice. Oh, how I do love thee in this time of snow emergency. How you hold the ladder firm to prevent my fall and yet continue your chatter. How we are so alike and different too, and now our stormy Valentine together, with which we can look back and say, it's always been something new.
Oh, that's very nice.
Really good. I like that.
I like that.
Now, that was the year that we all had so much snow on our. I think that was the
Yeah,
only
we had a
year
whopper of a storm
I had
on
9
Valentine's.
feet
in
The
my
only
yard.
year I ever shoveled my roof. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the year, just in a vein, some local roofing companies, contractors I know, people who made, $500,000, $750,000.
Shoveling roofs?
Yeah, cleaning off roofs because
Yeah.
they had the equipment. They were lifting up snow blowers on roofs. There were, 37 roof collapses in Massachusetts?
Well, do you remember there was a slight specialty for about 4 weeks of people who would get up and crack up the ice?
Yeah.
To take the ice
Yeah.
jams off
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's where the danger was.
Yes.
The weight
Right.
and the ice jams.
Yeah.
Right. The ice dams is what will make your roof leak. It'll get past the
Right, goes up
ice
under
and
the
water belt.
shingles
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we survived that.
So that was your wife holding the ladder in that poem.
Indeed, it was.
Now I know her, Bill.
You do?
I've met her. Yeah, lovely woman. Yep. I was fortunate enough to go to an event around Christmas time. Was it at your house?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had a
Got a little open house there.
How does she like that poem?
I had a holiday
Tom?
run.
Does she like that
She
poem?
likes it. She's
Yeah.
very circumspect.
You kind of threw a
My
little
wife's
shot
a
at her.
librarian.
You threw a shot about the stinky socks, though.
Well,
There's a little literary license there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was great. Great. So, Ralph, I'm gonna hand it to you because you can maybe ask the next question for our guest, Tom Wylie, because you know a lot more than about his poetry.
Well, he's not just a lifetime educator and a poet. He's been a runner for some number of years since he was young. He just ran Boston again.
Wow.
He just ran Boston again. Got some coverage here at WHAV because he had a distinct classification where he was the last person across the line while they were running the clock. They run the clock after everyone goes past the starting line. They start a clock, and 6 hours later, I think it is, they stop giving out times. Tom was that
The last one counted,
person. Yeah.
But certainly not the last
No.
one.
No.
I was the last local person to cross the finish line. There were actually about 6 or 7 who were last behind me, but they were from Japan, China, or Kentucky, outside of Massachusetts.
So they selected you.
Believe me, this was a huge surprise.
Yeah.
I had a great run. I enjoyed it. It did take me almost 6 hours. I wanted to break 6 hours. But what I didn't know, that's the benchmark to be listed in the final results. But what I didn't know is that clock for the 6 hours begins when the last starter crosses the start line. Meaning
Makes it
I
fair.
was almost
Yeah.
20 minutes in front of those folks.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And I ran fine. I felt good.
Yeah.
And my wife met me at the end. The hardest part was, getting on warm clothes and taking a lift to get over to we stayed at the Kendall Hotel at Firehouse number 7.
That's fantastic. You've done it 5 times.
Yeah, I've done it 5 times.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But you've done more than 5 marathons. You've done
I've done
Boston
14.
14
Wow.
marathons.
I actually did a double. It's called a 50-miler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one took me 12 hours.
50.
That was
I never
back hurts just
really,
thinking about
I
it.
know. So what's a marathon? Like 23?
26.
26 miles.
And to even do that in less than 6 hours, to do in regular Boston traffic, you usually can't do that many miles.
That's right. That's a good point. That's
Well,
a really good
I'm
point.
going to blow my horn a little bit. When I was 42 years ago, I ran my first marathon in Newport, Rhode Island, in 3 hours and 2 minutes, which was considered a very fast time.
Yeah, that's great.
So, Bill, you may not know, but in addition to being a poet, a marathon runner, a lifelong educator,
Yeah.
he's also on the Haverhill Historic Commission.
Okay.
He's a conservation commissioner, and on the rail trail, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
another
Very busy man.
Another example of when I say Haverhill has very unique, special people.
They don't come any better.
That's right. The Haverhill people are.
Well, the story
Something
behind the
different.
story, if I could say it, is I met someone when I was a VISTA volunteer assigned to Waterloo, Iowa in 1969, and that person was Jim Fiorentini.
Lifelong
no
friend.
kidding.
Yeah, you've been friends for years.
I had just got out of the Peace Corps, and I was in Vista, and he was there. He was working in one part of the town. I was working in the other. We stayed together back and forth. I went to his wedding. I was living in Greater Boston with my wife and shopping for a house. And he said, "Why don't you look around up here?" So that happened 33 years ago, and here I am.
There you go.
You're still friends to this day.
And 16 years ago, he becomes mayor.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Well, when I got
and
on,
that's when he starts putting you on commissions.
No,
and things.
actually, he didn't. I mean, there was a few things. I mean,
'Cause he knew
I was,
you.
I was,
Well, he knew you
You know,
when-
Jim Rourke put me on a few things too.
Okay.
Housing committee looking for they were building new schools like the one in Bradford. But after I stopped working full time in Rhode Island and went to part time at Northeastern teaching, we get together now and then. He said, "You're looking for something to do?" And I said, "Yeah, can I be helpful?" And he said, "Well, we could use somebody on the Conservation Commission." So that's how that happened.
and he's a good fit because the Conservation Commission, you have to be very analytical,
Oh,
reams of very dry technical stuff. You've actually, Bill, been to some of the
I've been
hearings,
to some, and
some of the meetings.
from my experience in real estate and conservation,
Yeah.
you know, with Rob Moore having to come out and look at sites and all
Yeah.
that you people do and have to know.
There's a lot of details.
Yeah, that's not just to
Yeah.
show up and vote.
No.
That is a real study. You have to become
Yeah.
knowledgeable of so much information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom does his homework. He's a very, very sound commissioner. We're
That's-
lucky to have him.
I'm not surprised. And Rob Moore is
Rob's a great
no
guy.
slouch either. He's the best.
Ralph, you're also one of the best.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
He does a good job.
But yeah, Rob Moore, I'll tell you, I've said it, and it's hard because, some of the city employees are friends of mine, obviously growing up in the town. It's very hard to ever single someone out. But if ever, pound for pound, penny for penny, we get more out of Rob Moore, I think, than I don't know what more we could possibly ask from him.
No, he's great.
He's honest and ethical and, gives very good advice. He's a very bright guy, very, very concerned about the city.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of skin in the game. He's like our chair, Harmony Wilson, who is a young woman who's a mother, so she jealously defends the people's, resources. Rob's the same way. I mean, this is the community they're going to leave to their children.
Yeah.
Great group of people on the Conservation Commission, by and large. Yeah.
Important stuff. And I have gone to the committee meetings, but when I go to whether it's conservation, planning, or appeals for one, I'm going for knowledge because I was told many years ago when I first ran in my first 8 years before I took 12 years off, I was told you can't go and talk because you'll bias yourself and then you can't really make a clean vote when you're on the council. So I've always lived by that standard. I think it's a good
It's a good standard.
Yeah. But you get a lot of information for what you need to know when it comes before you,
Right.
just by listening to what the Conservation Commission
And
says.
there's been times
and when they do.
This year, we've seen yourself. We've seen
Yeah.
Colin LePage and Melinda Barrett.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do the same thing. If there's something that
Yeah.
catches their interest, they kind of want to get some. Because as you know, at our hearings, we vet out. We tease out many facts.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, any parcel of land in the city that is either going to be developed or renovated or in some way changed, we have to be involved to see if there's any wetland issues
Right.
related to the water supply.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crucial, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Do you know, I have a figure that I got from Mass Association of Conservation Commissions. For every dollar you spend on protecting a wetland, you save $27 in municipal water treatment.
Oh, wow. That's
That's
an
a true
interesting
story.
number.
That's fantastic.
Interesting.
Well, I do
number.
my homework, Tom.
Yeah. Well, as we were
How could I
saying,
not do it when
You have
I
to.
mean, this is the standard I
Right.
have.
You got to keep up with Tom.
I sat next to Tom at my first meeting, and I'm happy to say we've been friends ever since.
That's good.
He taught me a lot.
Good. Well, we're going to take another break right here, and we will be back. Will you hang in a little longer?
Sure, if you like me.
Great. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We can do that. And I'd
If
love
you
to
leave,
have-
he has to just talk to me, Tom.
That's right. I got to just talk to Ralph. But we'll be good. All right. This is the Open Mic Show. Hey, we're here every Monday night from 6 until 8 doing this kind of a just discussion forum. And anything you'd like to call in about, 978-374-1900 is the number for you to call. And you can also just listen on WHAV 97.9 FM, but you can also go to Facebook, and we're live streaming on Facebook. You can go to HC Media, and I think it's channel 22 we're on HC Media, but we're there on the local channel. And we're also posted on Ustream and WHAV.net, WHAV.FM. So we are everywhere, Ralph and Tom.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we're worldwide right now. So, we're just imagine the power we have of our voice. Okay, I had turned your mic off already.
The news gets 15 million hits a month.
It's incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
What Tim has done with local news, and he's dedicated himself to delivering information and news that you can't find anyplace else because nobody else is covering it.
The online news feed, if I could add, is something that's only happened in the last couple of years, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he's growing it, but
now it's coming out 2 or 3 times a week, and it's the newsbreaker. It's the first one
He-
to get the story.
he gets it out. Yeah, he does special information. He doesn't just, it's not like you just print it once a day and that's what you're stuck with. So he has extras and all kinds of stuff. It's a great place to be doing the open mic. It makes me proud to be part of this organization. It's WHAV, the Open Mic Show on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the Open Mic Show will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900.
It's 7:31.
You're riding the local wave, 97.9 WHAV FM. And if you're listening on TV, it's compliments of the board, staff, and members of your local public access channel. Thanks for being tuned in to the Merrimack Valley's Wave, local news and the best music. 97.9 WHAV.
How does one man get himself into so many impossible situations? This is a question you'll probably ask yourself when you follow another hilarious adventure of Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Yes, Gildy's eye for the ladies and his impulsive temperament managed to entangle him in a web of riotous circumstances. Join the romantic water commissioner, his neighbors, Judge Hooker, Mr. Peavy, and all the loyal Gildersleeve household as they romp through another episode of The Great Gildersleeve.
Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. on WHAV.
Wave weather.
Now your wave weather forecast for Haverhill in the Merrimack Valley. Few showers, maybe even isolated thunderstorm tonight with a 15 to 20 mile per hour northeast breeze. Patchy fog could develop as well, and some heavy rainfall early in this evening as we drop just a few clicks back into the upper 40s. Overcast skies, temperatures holding right at 50 for Tuesday. Winds up to around 10 to 15 miles per hour from the northeast. Tuesday night, a few showers, mainly cloudy, low 45. And for the day Wednesday, an isolated shower, a few peaks of sunshine, will warm into the lower 60s. I'm WHAV meteorologist Brian Ivy. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we are back on the Open Mic Show. Bill Macek, along with Ralph Basiliere, and Tom Wylie is our poet extraordinaire, and also you've done so many other things. You're Conservation Commission, you're an educator,
The Rail Trail in Bradford, the Bradford Rail Trail.
I mean, so you also, as I say, I believe I need is a hat rack beside your desk because you do so many different things. You need a different hat.
Well, I learned something interesting on a walk, an inspection with Linda Dean Campbell and the group from the rail trail. If you've ever seen that old structure that hangs over, and there's one near the Basiliere Bridge towards the yacht club side, and it hangs over and it kind of has these things that tangle. It was for a brakeman. It's called a telltale. It's the telltale sign. When that thing hits your back, you're about to hit the bridge.
Yeah, okay.
That's your telltale. Interesting little fact. And the engineer is telling us we got a call.
We got a call. All right.
All
Well,
right,
let's
let's
take
hit it.
our call. Hello, caller.
Good, Dr. Gerard Boucher here.
Hey, doctor, how are you?
Yes.
Jerry Boucher,
Jerry
Tom.
Boucher, yeah.
Yep. Dr. Gerard Boucher.
A national treasure.
He is.
What's I have some land that's mostly wetland, and Rob Moore told me one time some forestry companies, government companies that will clear off some of the debris to preserve the wetlands. Ralph, do you know anything about that?
I don't, Jerry, because the only thing that strikes me is that usually when there's trees that have fallen in a wetland, those trees that have fallen provide something in forestry called a nurse log, where other trees will grow out of it, be nurtured by it. They're kind of like they act as a surrogate, if you will, a biological surrogate. So I don't know exactly, Jerry. I'm always reluctant to answer conservation questions without talking to Rob and outside of the meeting, because that's a good way to get yourself in trouble when your friend says, hey, can I do this? I've got 100 feet of clearance, and then the next thing you know, they've got 10 feet of clearance, and all the neighbors are there.
Wait. That's why I tell people how smart you are, see?
Hi, this is Tom, if I could add.
Jerry.
If you got my contact, Ralph, don't you?
Yeah,
of course I do.
Jerry. My email, my phone number. If you can find out for, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
But wait, Tom has maybe some information.
Your question, Jerry, is fantastic. But the most important thing from the commissioner's standpoint is caution. You don't do anything, even though someone suggests it's a good idea, without having our conservation officer, Rob Moore, go out and take a look. Because many of the things that come before us are because the property owners didn't know the rules. They bought a piece of property and they thought it would be fine if they put a pool in the backyard. Little did they know they're putting the pool in a designated no-build zone wetland. So, and in some cases, even commercial people buy a piece of property and they hire somebody from out of state and they want the land cleared, and they go in and clear the land, and they've destroyed good natural growth that's part of protecting the watershed. So the most important thing is you ask a good question. Rob Moore would be the one. You don't do anything without someone saying, this is fine, or you need to apply for a permit to do X, Y, and Z.
Right. And a lot of things, too, Rob can handle. I've gone on a number of visits with Rob where someone will call about, they'll call about a tree. And, we'll say, you want these 3 trees down? You're okay with these 2, that one, don't touch it. And now there's an ordinance, I believe it's actually an ordinance, where if you cut down a tree in a buffer zone or a wetland, you have to leave a snag, part of it standing, because that tree, as it dies, will have more life in it than a living tree, believe it or not.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I understand that. Oh,
Yeah.
Huh.
So
that's why you see like the new sprouts coming up out of the trunk.
Yeah, call Rob Moore. He's your guy. To he'll look at it and know what to do or what we can't do.
Yeah, it's hard to get through to him now with that 311 operator.
Oh, just call.
I can't call direct. I can't call direct to leave a message.
Well, I think we're going to need Rob to even maybe revisit, because it's been a number of years. You said, Doctor, and I think that it probably would have to be revisited and reviewed again. But maybe Ralph, you could take one homework assignment.
Yeah, I'll have Rob.
And next Monday night.
Yeah, I'll tell Rob.
Maybe next Monday night we can help Dr. Boucher find out
see what we can do. It's always hard to give advice about wetland stuff when you're not actually,
especially over the phone.
Yeah.
No, but reaching Rob won't be a problem.
Rob, can I tell you the location for now?
You know what? You shouldn't probably do that on air. I hate to have you give out personal information.
All right, if you have someone contact me then.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good enough.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, my friend.
Thanks for calling.
All right, Jerry. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, all right,
Okay.
Thank you for the open mic show.
You bet. Thank you for calling and listening.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. It's 21 minutes before 8 o'clock, so we're here for another 21 minutes. Our guest, Tom Wylie, is here, and you have any more poetry you want to read, Tom?
Well,
you have any more marked here? I see a paper clip. I see some page markers.
I have 2, if you don't mind. This is actually a man's poem. particularly men
A
with
man's poem.
men
Okay.
with gray hair.
All right. So does the Haverhill...
Well, I have gray hair.
do the Haverhill River Bards have any... Is it mixed? Is it men
yes.
and women?
We have several women that
Okay.
read on a regular basis. Oh yes.
Okay. I just
You'll understand
just
why
checking.
I call this a man
But
poem.
this is a man's poem.
This is not meant in any way to be discriminatory.
Okay.
This is called Song of My PSA.
Okay.
PSA, the PSA, who's to know, who's to say? Male's body tune that will not go away. This is not your public service announcement. No, no, no. Check the flow. Prostate specific antigen. Universally despise, male hate and dread. Numbers to suggest alive, numbers to fear dead. Look and look again. PSA numbers are not your friend. Drip, drip, samples into a cup. 3.9, 4.3, 5.7, up, up, and up, trending or mending. Normal is a moving target. Flow easy, flow out, flow stop, check the stream, long is good, short, and watch out. Search, sample, digital rectal exam, probing an unknown that might be inside the man. More men die with it than of it. Watchful waiting, active surveillance, trips and appointments, sleepless nights, quick stops, no lights. Biopsy, Gleason scale, benign or inflamed. What will data suggest of your name?
Wow. I don't want to touch that one at all. I just...
I'm terrified.
I
literally don't want to touch that.
This is a man who either studied before he wrote that,
Yeah.
or has some personal experience in the family, maybe.
I've said this before.
He hit the nail right on the head with that.
He is smarter than the average bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could probably get like the AMA or somebody to support that and publish it, because it's so well done. I'm telling you.
Not only is it lyrical, it's didactic in nature, like poetry used to be.
Yeah.
I have a point I want to make about poetry. You know, sometimes people will say things like poetry's dead or it's a dying art. I beg to differ, because poetry was initially done to sing, like the Psalms in the Bible. So poetry is alive and well because you hear it every day in song lyrics.
Yeah. Well, how about rap? Do you think rap is like poetry?
It is in its own way, yeah.
In a lot of ways.
I have an appreciation for it.
It rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a lot of, it doesn't have to rhyme, but...
We've had people do rap at River Bards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the poetry really of the inner city and of you know, that demographic. And I have a big appreciation. I love Snoop Dogg, by the way.
And their messages are pretty on point, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit the nail on the head, too, with sometimes in a not suitable for air presentation,
Right.
but they say what they want to say. They get the message.
They definitely have a message. My favorite rapper, for the record, is Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Absolutely my favorite.
Snoop.
I legitimately, I'm not being funny,
No.
love his
He's
stuff.
been around for forever, too, now. I mean, he was one of
I
the
love his
first
stuff.
ones. Snoop,
Right.
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But poetry's alive and well in song lyrics. My favorite lyricist, my favorite songwriter, I think personally the best songwriter of our age is Adam Duritz of the Counting Crows. His lyrics are
I love
very
that band.
poetic. Yeah, they're
very
great.
good. Yeah. Yeah, they've had some great songs.
Yes.
So what do you go under? Ralphie B? Or what do you call yourself?
I can't tell you my aliases in case the FBI's listening.
Yeah.
But fun fact, I don't think either one of you knew this. I have twice been published poems in Parnassus Magazine, the award-winning literary magazine of Northern Essex.
Northern Essex. Good
Yep,
for you.
I've had two poems, one called Jelly Bean and one called Beautiful Inside, both published.
We'll bring him in some night.
I will.
Well,
I will.
We'll
read them on air.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
put you right in the middle
Yep.
chair.
I've been waiting to tell Tom that I'm actually a
like
poet.
to
I've
see
got
him.
hundreds of
Yeah,
poems
yeah.
I wrote. Of course, like most poets, I think my stuff is crap. And funny enough, the stuff that I submitted to the board at Northern Essex, the body that overlooks it, it's the poem that I thought would end up on both times end up on the floor of the 2 or 3 that I submitted were the ones they published, and the professor up there who was brought.
Well, it's like when we had 45, sometimes it was the B-side
Right.
that was the big hit.
Absolutely. Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. It wasn't always
Right.
the one they thought was the hit.
I once messed around with a poem called Jelly Bean. I was trying to learn a certain bacteria. I had to learn many things in a condensed course in the summer, and there was one bacteria I just couldn't get. So I was sitting at the beach, and I ended up writing a poem about it that was both lyrical, which is kind of frowned upon, I guess, in modern poetry circles, and didactic, like poetry used to be in the colonial days, like in the New England Primer. Did you have the New England Primer, Tom? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? The New England Primer? And the professor, he loved it. He thought it was a mini stroke of genius.
There you go.
You know?
There you
So,
go.
yeah, I had some fun with it. I have some experience with it.
Nice. Nice.
You got to come to our open mic.
I will.
Sure.
I will.
You could go in probably just as an invited poet.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go down.
All right. Okay, hey, it's 1:15, so we're going to take our final break. Can you hang around a little more, Tom? Yeah. I'm enjoying our conversation. I know we didn't expect to hold you this long, but we're holding you over.
You said 20 minutes.
Encore.
We got to give the people what they want.
That's right. All right. We'll be right back with more of the Open Mic right here on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open Mic.
Bill Macek and the Open Mic Show will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900.
You're riding the local wave, 97.9 WHAV. And if you're listening on TV, it's compliments of the board, staff, and members of your local public access channel. Thanks for being tuned to the Merrimack Valley's Wave, local news and best music, 97.9 WHAV. Did you know radio still reaches more than 93% of people of every age, every week? It's a fact. 97.9 WHAV Merrimack Valley audience averages 93% of everyone. As other media cuts back, folks in our area are turning to 97.9 WHAV for local news, information, and the best music anywhere. And 97.9 WHAV listeners know our business messages are more credible, more trustworthy than other advertising. Learn how 97.9 WHAV connects your business with more people than all other local media combined. Call 978-374-1900, 374-1900, or online anytime at WHAV.net.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Okay, we're back on the Open Mic Show. Bill Macek, Ralph Basiliere, and Tom Wylie. And we're talking about a bunch of stuff, but I need to talk about one thing that I haven't mentioned tonight, and that's that we give away a cake from LBD's Second Generation Italian Bakery in Bradford Square, and we do it once a month, and you still have time to get in on a May birthday or anniversary. If you call it in now, 978-374-1900, or any time between now and the end of the show, just give the information to our producer, Chris, and we'll get your name into the big cowboy hat. And your new cowboy hat hasn't come in. That 10-gallon one you ordered, Ralph?
No.
No?
Neither has the power for my mic. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I control your mic.
You know, while you were away, Bill, I thought it was, and you were on assignment, and I did the show a couple nights.
Yeah.
And one night we had to draw out of it. Well, I feel it's okay to lie on radio.
Oh,
no.
Don't tell me this.
No, well, I said that we're drawing out of the 10-gallon hat once worn by John Wayne in the sands of Iwo Jima, and Conway Twitty, and it was funny. We had a little laugh with it.
That's tongue-in-cheek stuff.
Right, it was tongue-in-cheek, not lying. No. Lying's when you're trying to.
That's poetic license. We'll call it poetic license.
I love it, poetic license. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to be giving away that cake next Monday night. So now's the time. And you can also call in next Monday night till we draw to get a name of an individual who was either born or was married in the month of May, because we always go to the next month, and then
Right.
we draw it on the last Monday before the next month, and then they have their cake for their big celebration. And it's from LBD's second generation Italian bakery in Bradford Square, right on South Main Street. Great place. If you want to find a bakery that once you go to, you'll never go anywhere else, go to LBD's because it's the best. And so I just wanted to get that plug in. So
And
that-
they also have the best sign in their parking lot. It says, "Parking for LBD's Bakery, everyone else will be toast."
I never saw
I didn't
that.
notice that.
Yeah,
but
it's
you know
actually
what?
funny.
That is funny.
It's a play on
but
words
that's-
'cause they
I
make
should
bread.
mention that too, because you get free parking there. And there's no problem finding a spot.
Nope.
So good. All right. Let's get back to our guest, Tom Wylie. Got about 10 minutes left, and he's got a couple of poems he'd like to read. One he didn't even write, but he feels very comfortable about it.
Right, but I'm going to read one more.
You're
going
gonna
to
read one more of
I'm going
yours.
to read one
Okay.
more of another Haverhill poet, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
And remind everyone that April is National Poetry Month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's a
All
big
right.
deal. A lot of readings going on everywhere. So this is one about a very current issue, immigration. This is called Aliens. Skin, blood, breath, eyes, teeth, and hair. We connect to each other by dreams, hopes, fears, land, sea, and air. Chains made, chains broken, they do nothing but hold, torture, kill, push, pull, imprison, or release the unspoken. Parched earth, green grass, birds in flight, clothes to carry, babies to hold, for thousands of years, millions and millions by day and night. Why, where, how, borders, fences, barriers, mountains, rivers, snow, sun, sleet, whatever, wherever we struggle on our feet. Accepted, rejected, jailed, or set aside, how is it that so many made it and thrive, yet turn cold backs towards thousands that die? You, me, we, they, all of us others, on lands that were not of our fathers and mothers. Aliens.
Powerful.
Very
Wow.
timely.
What a message.
Very timely.
Yeah, very timely. Very well done. And again, you wrote that one, Tom. Is the mayor aware of some of your writings?
Yes, he's been to a couple of.
He should probably give you an appointment, a citation for a month or something, that you're the poet of the month, because incredible.
Well, we were speaking about
all of his stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's really thoughtful.
We were speaking about rap earlier as the voice of largely, I think, social justice for a certain community, demographic, young people, inner city. Poetry's long been the voice of social justice. I mean, look, John Greenleaf Whittier was a fantastic abolitionist.
Yeah, absolutely was.
And his stuff was very powerful. And when you listen to the protest music of the '60s, song lyrics is poetry. There's very precious little difference between song lyrics and poetry. What strikes me most would be the protest music of the '60s.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And you even hear it now in song lyrics.
Yeah, it's a message. There's a message. There's a lot of
words are very powerful.
Yeah.
That's
right. Well, all right, Tom.
You want one more?
We're gonna
one
do
more. Yeah.
We got time for at least one more, but we can chat it out.
All right.
You could do one more. You got more?
This
All
is not mine. This is by another Haverhill poet, quite well known in Haverhill, Richard Smith. Actually, he lives in Bradford.
Richard Smith. I know him.
Richard.
Yeah, he's a poet. Actually, he's been publishing for more than 20 years a quarterly poetry journal. I think it's called Albatross.
Good guy.
In competition.
And he also plays music.
This is about, he's very this is about, his sons who have gone away to the college. They were very successful. He has two sets of twins. These are the younger set.
Wow.
I didn't know
that either.
Poem for my sons on the going, parenthetically, for Connor and Adrian Woods. This going that has been coming for so long now is finally here. There should be a ritual for this, some sacred doing, for anthropologists to study in far future universities. In its absence, I give you this liminal missive. And I, poet of the dark interiors, have no words for you, for all is light now, all brightness, and you both, the brightest thing of all. Know, however, that the occasional eclipse will occur, and that you will not fear the darkness. Remember all that I never said. A, art will keep you forever exuberant. B, be ever curious, you will never know boredom. C, your decisions create the world. D, be a channel of the energy flowing through you, and may it serve you in serving others. And remember this, that I say now. 1, the world needs you whole and unbroken. 2, trust that your destiny is a complex topology unfolding as it will in a time of your own making. 3, your life is a possibility space with many trajectories. Every decision changes the landscape, doors closing and opening always. 4, fear is the enemy. When you are angry, find the fear that is its source so that you can deny its sedition. 5, consolate, and may your constellation make a meaning and be seen by all.
Wow.
Nice.
There's so much jam-packed in
Now,
there.
I meant to
What
give
a
credit to
message.
Haverhill Life. This is the poem of the month. for
Yeah,
Haverhill Life.
really well done. And Richard Smith.
With his permission.
Another guy. Yeah, no, that's, I mean, we only mentioned his name because you spoke to him, you said before the show. And well done. So anyway, I'm really enjoying these readings. You know, maybe I should show up at the Haverhill.
Well, you're most welcome to do that.
Haverhill. I'll cover it. I'll get Tim to give me a press hat.
You know, some people say when you speak at the council, it's very poetic.
Yeah, you think so?
No, no one's ever said that.
Okay, well.
There's a lot of things nobody ever said.
Thanks, Ralph.
Right. Well, I can't imagine what people are thinking about me.
I just like to think you're wrong. That's all.
Yes. I often am.
Yeah, all right. Haverhill River Bards Poetry Program. If somebody wanted to look that up, can they find you have a web page or how do they find you guys?
Go to the Creative Haverhill
Go
website.
to Creative Haverhill.
Yeah, in fact, she sent an announcement today.
Jenny Arns.
Jenny,
yeah, she's great.
Bless Jenny.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, that's a great way to find the poets and remember Creative Haverhill, because it seems like all these poets are pretty good, pretty creative. Yep. All right. Okay, Ralph, you want to say anything? Because we're about down to 3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes left?
Yeah, it's getting close.
Wow.
It flies by.
What do we got going on? Well, you know, I was away for the weekend at my favorite spot in the world, the Inn at Thornhill, up in Jackson.
Yeah, I know
and,
that.
The Conservation Commissioner and me could not resist the temptation on Easter Day to go into Conway and center Conway, where I heard the Saco had actually gone past flood stage and over the banks. So I've had a few chances in recent years to see flooding as it's beginning to happen and as it's occurring, and then the aftermath, which is largely, silt deposits. And then I go to classes actually with Tom, and they talk about flood zones, and they show pictures, and they look identical to the stuff I've seen on the ground. Yeah. So while I was up there, there was some flooding, which I imagine some areas down here must now be in danger of. And it's not the worst I've ever seen, but to put it in perspective, last week when I called my friend up in Jackson, I said, "Do you still have any snow?" And they had 2 feet of snow on the ground Monday afternoon.
Yeah, my oldest son lives in Vermont, and Numbered State Route was totally water.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to shut it down. Yeah.
Wow.
Right in the middle of town.
They had 2 feet of snow on the ground. When I went up there when I got up there on late Friday morning, there was no snow cover except, with its big snowbanks every place. They lost 2 feet of snow in 3 days.
Yeah, the melting.
Just the melting,
incredible. Usually, if it's slow, it doesn't create that flooding problem.
And I have no idea how much water that turns out to be, that area, but I can't imagine the millions and millions of metric tons in 72 hours.
Mud season.
Yeah.
Mud season
it's muddy
here.
up there.
Yeah, mud season is here. I bet.
It is. It is muddy up there, and there's water every place.
Yeah.
I go up to that area a lot, and this area, as I drive by, I've never seen water.
But
in
it probably makes our Merrimack higher
absolutely.
too, right? I mean, it all comes this way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the stuff in Conway, the Saco, I think empties out in Biddeford. But that's on the east side. On the west side, which is the Merrimack Riverside, of course, there's plenty of rivers up there, too.
Right,
There's
yeah.
no shortage of them.
Right.
But I saw the Swift, the Wildcat, and the Saco and the Ellis Rivers just raging. Just incredible to see. In fact, from the inn I was at, you could hear what's known as Jackson Falls, the kind of end leg of the Ellis River. It's about a quarter mile away, and you could
Really?
hear it like a freight train was coming through town.
Wow. How about crazy rafters? Were there any kids doing that?
No, I didn't see. No,
It's too early.
No,
for
no,
that.
no,
Yeah.
too early for whitewater rafting.
Oh,
huh?
absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they get down Salisbury Beach or Hampton, they go to the giant waves and
Well, let them do it.
do the dangerous stuff. I didn't say you should do it.
No,
I
no.
just thought there might be a
Those
you know,
days are over for me. The crazy stuff
yeah,
like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? We are just about out of time, so we're going to wrap it up here. Tom Wylie, thank you for coming in.
Delighted.
And
Thank you.
enjoyed all of the poetry and all of yours and the one extra that you did read. And we'll have to have you back and do it again. And we'll bring in the Haverhill River Bards. Is that what it is?
Happy to do it.
Haverhill River Bards.
Yeah, I like that name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is the Open Mic Show. We're here every Monday night from 6 until 8. Thank you for listening. Thanks to our callers who called in. And we hope you're back again with us next Monday night, 6 to 8 on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Join Bill Macek live on the Open Mic Show again next Monday night at 6. The opinions expressed on the Open Mic Show are not necessarily those of 97.9 WHAV FM, its underwriters, or affiliated stations. The Open Mic Show came to you from the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom.